A citywide curfew is once again in effect until 6 a.m. All businesses in Philadelphia have been ordered to shut down. SEPTA has stopped all service until tomorrow morning. So how did we get here? It's been a second straight day of destruction after a peaceful protest following the death of George Floyd in Minneapolis took a violent turn. Officers have been injured, property destroyed, and livelihoods shattered. The National Guard has been called in to help. Joe Holden has more on the state of the city and what's being done to restore order.
Day 2 of violence, chaos, and disorder on Philadelphia streets, taxing the city's police force. High-ranking department sources tell CBS 3 in Kensington and North Philadelphia, looters overpowered law enforcement's ability to respond. The city, in a Sunday evening news conference, confirmed officers were outnumbered.
Our officers are going to take in mind their own personal safety in order to respond to these issues. Obviously, they put their lives on the line every day, but they're going to do it in a smart way. So by no means was enforcement lax last night. It was really a matter of manpower.
More looting into the night, despite an imposed 6 p.m. curfew. Police eventually got the upper hand along business corridors near Temple Hospital. Germantown Avenue storefronts were largely defenseless against earlier mobs of people.
We couldn't take every officer out of every district in the city and send them to a store that's being looted without losing the district or the neighborhood. So it's a Hobson's choice.
The National Guard is now expected as Philadelphia is in critical condition. The number of officers injured is on the rise. A police spokesperson said late Sunday night they were working to identify those arrested and reveal where they're from. Further authorization to release that information would have to come from the district attorney's office, he said.
Justice.
Outside police headquarters earlier, a calmer show of disagreement. People chanted the name George Floyd and "I can't breathe," a phrase that has suddenly become a rally cry of those looking for substantive dialogue with leaders.
People are angry. People are angry with the racial discrimination going on in this country. It's been going on a long time. I mean, it happens in the workplace. It happens with neighbors. It happens when you walk in the store. People are angry. And we're out here protesting.
Joe Holden reporting.
Good morning to all my fellow Americans here once again to inform what's happening. You see this, you saw this video. This is what the communists want to reduce us to. These fascists, terrorists, Nazi communists, and Islamic included. That's why I mentioned terrorists. They want to reduce us to this. What's happening to Cuba, Venezuela, Nicaragua, North Korea, and China, where you don't have the right to do anything. What is a peaceful protest has to do with looting, burning, destroying? It's nothing like Martin Luther King did, which I praise and I applaud. But these people, they're terrible. Killing, murder, killing even policemen, injuring policemen who are out to do their job to avoid these lootings. Well, there you go. This is the start of radical communists and Islam in our nation. Before I start, don't forget Florida to vote for Maria Elvira Salazar for Congress. And go out and vote all conservatives so all your states can have a conservative as a representative of your state, not a communist, not an Antifa, not a Muslim. And I want to send a salute to all my fellow American veterans of the DAV and the veterans of all organizations. Never forget those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in order to keep our country free again. Away from communism, away from socialism, the start to communism. Let me go to the next video here. I run out of things I want to say, but there was a lot to say. And there's a lot to see here. There's a lot. Must-see, new Trump ad, this is from Next News Network, reminds voters of the worst crime, Kamala and Joe Biden. Let's see this. Don't forget to go to my blog. I pledge allegiance to the flag by writing down my name. As a matter of fact, today is the 29th of October, 2020. My name is Eduardo Rodriguez. Oh, what I was going to say, and I almost forgot, is I used to be in Philadelphia one time when I was in the Navy. I was stationed at the Naval Shipyard in Philadelphia. And I don't know, it was kind of dangerous because I went through some situations where blacks confronted me, even though I was minding my own business. They were kind of like threatening me on the train, and then they walked out and started threatening me through the window of the train. You know, telling me that the train belonged to them, to the black people. I'm telling you, and look what we got up to. You know, I wasn't bothering nobody. I wasn't threatening nobody. I wasn't being racial to nobody. Just minding my own business. Just going around and traveling. And look what it's come to. Where you can't say anything, where you can't go out, where you're threatened wherever you go. Okay, so let's go to this video here. So see what Next News have to say about Joe Biden.
Thank you for choosing the Next News Network. After this report, I want you to head on over to nextnewsnetwork.com for a special message. The link is in the description below. Now let's get to the news. The Trump campaign has just rolled out a new ad reminding voters of the worst crime that Kamala and Joe have committed. We're going to show it to you in a moment. Before we do, if you're watching for the first time, please do make sure you hit the red subscribe button down below. And then hit that notification bell so we can bring real news and opinion every day. Katie Pavlich from Town Hall reports that the Trump campaign is out with a new campaign ad exposing the former Vice President Joe Biden and Senator Kamala Harris as enablers of rioting across the country. In fact, she writes the ad features headlines about a rioter bail fund that was promoted on Twitter by Harris and Biden staffers. Worse, Biden staffers took part in the rioting. Watch.
While America's cities burned, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris fanned the flames, refusing to strongly condemn violence, supporting bail funds that help let rioters, looters, and dangerous criminals out of jail.
Joe Biden's silence speaks loudly. He doesn't have our backs.
In Joe Biden's America, we'll all be in danger.
President Trump will keep America safe.
If you support the police, support Donald Trump.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Wow. Now, here's a quick reminder of what Kamala kept posting on her Twitter account to help the criminals. If you're able to chip in now to the Minnesota Freedom Fund to help post bail for those protesters on the ground in Minnesota. Yes, riots over the summer were the most expensive in U.S. history, totaling more than $2 billion in damages. And she was asking people to chip in to help pay for the bail of the violent protesters. Comment below. We'll see you at the next report for the Next News Network. I'm Gary Franchi.
Thank you for watching that report. You know, the election is less than a month away, and the political uncertainty.
God forbid these people win. We'll have no more a United States like we used to know. These people will bring you down or take you down to the level of extreme poverty for the rest of your life. It will be a total nightmare. Just look at what's coming out of Cuba. I have a blog for Cuba. It's called Cuba Noticias Disidentes. And you should see the things that are happening there. Over 61 years under communism, and you see people living in such a state of poverty that it's really a total freaking nightmare. A total freaking nightmare. I mean, it's just a nightmare. I'd rather die. I hope I do before I see something like that. Because it's just, I couldn't fathom myself thinking to be living in such a condition. It'd be a real freaking nightmare. I'm gonna go with this last video to give a little bit of a boost, a moral boost, or a little bit of hilarious boost. So Donald Trump, God bless you. God bless you, Mike Pence. I always pray for both of you. I always pray for my country too, that may God bless it eternally. The same with both of you. And I stand with God in Israel eternally. So I'll see you guys soon. God bless you. And I'll be here, hopefully, if God permits, tomorrow.